I lied, we're starting early, a minute early to be exact. Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another iteration, what a voice crack. Another iteration of us in the kitchen, streaming, talking about food, making some food. I'm excited about today. I hope you guys are also excited as well, as much as I am. Today is official tomato soup and mac and cheese day. Hello, hello, is that Karitsu? Did I say that right? Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Liam is here as always. I see Dosky is here as well. We have all the classics. Hope all of you are having a lovely, beautiful Sunday today. OMG, hello Dara. Hello Taza. Welcome. Hi. It's good to see all of you. I had a funny interaction today. Today, I was getting lunch. I went to the chicken shop. I have this lovely chicken shop near me. Also, hi, first time making it, now watching a VOD. Well, welcome. I went to the chicken shop, and the guy, in an attempt to hit on me, that worked there. Like, I've seen him for like months. I've been there all the time, asked for my Instagram, and I gave it to him. And after I gave it to him, I said, thank you, gave him a fist bump, or offered a fist bump, and then I put my hand down. Because I'm so used to people at Smash tournaments asking to take a picture with me, that was my default response whenever they would ask me for my Twitter or for a picture with me. And then I would say thank you and give them a little fist bump. And I fucking autopiloted that shit so hard. It was so funny. It was pretty brutal. It was pretty awful. And I will never live that down. So that is the mood. That is what is setting the tone for today. That is today's vibe. Whatever that may actually specifically be. Yeah. Imagine asking for a girl's number and she said thanks and gives you a fist bump. That's pretty fucking brutal. That's pretty brutal. Good set, bro. Bump. Yeah, there you go. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, future gay parent. Everybody, today is going to be mac and cheese and tomato soup day. Now, the tomato soup, pretty standard Daramgar affair. This is not going to be anything crazy. We're going to char the tomatoes. We're going to make a mirepoix. We're going to blend it. But the stuff that's really exciting, we're going to make a mac and cheese today. And for the first time, I'll be playing around with this little thing here called sodium citrate. You might be asking me, oh, Daramgar, what is sodium citrate? That's what you sound like. Sodium citrate, I'm so glad that you asked, is an emulsifying salt, to my understanding. Basically, if you ever think about Kraft mac and cheese, or Kraft singles, rather, and why it melts the way that it does, also thank you so much for the gifted sub, the way that it melts, and the reason that it doesn't separate, is because it has emulsifying agents keeping it together. Contrary to popular belief, American cheese is a lot closer to actual cheese than people think it is. It is blended cheddar and Monterey Jack. Also, my favorite Ohioan is back. I missed your shenanigans, shoddy. Jesus Christ, what a fucking sentence. Welcome. So, what's really exciting about sodium citrate is it holds cheeses together as they melt. If you've ever tried to just melt cheddar, if you've ever tried to melt any other kind of cheese, it always separates fat above, some of the liquid, and then the protein at the bottom. The beauty of sodium citrate, it will hold any cheeses together and keep them together. And I'll be using a Gruyere and a really nice aged cheddar cheese, and hopefully the sodium citrate will give us the texture of a melted American cheese, okay? But all the taste without needing like the extra starches and the extra emulsifying agents and preservatives added, and it's going to give us a lot of really nice depth of flavors. So I'm excited about the mac and cheese. Now, that being said, I will need to set the broiler on, because we'll be doing a tomato soup today. And I like always, whenever I'm using or cooking with tomatoes, I love always charring my tomatoes. I love blackening the skin. I got you flustered for a second there. Yeah, you really did. Wow. Beautiful stuff, truly. So, let's get started with the tomatoes. So here's what's gonna have to happen. First step, we're gonna set the broiler on. And we want to burn the skin of the tomatoes, okay? It's really, really important. It gives us a nice smokiness. We get like that roastedness out of the tomato as well. It makes it really nice and sweet. Then we're gonna get a nice big sheet tray. We're gonna use the big boy one this time. This guy right here. And we're gonna cover him in foil. That's what we'll do. Ooh. Oh, that's actually not going to protect it from anything, is it? It's just gonna leak water all over the place. Am I just gonna have to wash the sheet tray? Well, we'll see. Dog has one color and it is black. Yes, absolutely. Red and black. Excuse me. See this? Red and black. Damn, you have the whole cooking studio set up? I sure do. In fact, hold on. You think I have the whole cooking studio set up? I have the whole cooking studio set up. Hey, what's with the exposure settings? What is wrong with you? I have never seen my camera do that. It was actually fine up until now. What are we doing, kid? Fix yourself. Guys, this is the most embarrassing mistake that I could possibly have. I have no idea why that camera is so overexposed. I actually just do not know why. Holy shit. Am I screwed? Is it over for me? No. It's fine. It fixed itself. Okay. I'm annoyed about that though. It wasn't doing this the other day. I'm taking this thing out of the frame and then it's going to adjust because it's the stainless steel that's being reflective and weird. That's what's happening. God, that was the worst. That was pretty brutal just now. Okay. Let's get back to the important stuff, which is this. I will at some point have to actually confront that and deal with that. So we've lined this with foil, and here's all that's going to happen. First, we have a mixture of tomatoes. Basically, we had a package of cherry tomatoes that I wanted to use up. And then we also have these whole tomatoes as well. The whole tomatoes I'm going to slice in half and take the core out. The cherry tomatoes, I'm going to make sure that they're thoroughly drained because I washed them beforehand. You don't want them wet. They will be slightly tossed in oil when they go in. Right? So we don't want these things wet under the broiler or else they will just simply pop all over the place. Okay. Just like that. That's fine. And then we're just going to take these cherry tomatoes and we'll dump them in a lovely little sheet tray. Great. And we can do away with this for the moment. Next, let's start cutting our tomato halves. So all that's going to happen, all that we're going to do, we're going to take a tomato. We're going to slice this bad boy in half. We're going to hold this in our hand. So basically, I had cherry tomatoes that I wanted to get rid of, and I wanted to make a soup out of them, but I did not have enough cherry tomatoes to make a soup from, right? So I'm also compensating with these. And then also, it's nice to get a variety of different tomatoes because you get some different tastes and textures out of different variants of tomato. You like the taste of pesticides on your tomato? Real. That's a real nice zestiness, don't you think? Okay. All that's going on. How does one make a soup? You will find out. But we're going to start with roasting these in advance because I love getting just a bunch of color on these bad boys. Okay. This one actually, I cut the whole core out like that. Beautiful. And this is also going to be a really nice way to use up some leftover chicken stock while we got it. Okay. Cut that last bad boy in half. Boop. Once again, nice little incisions, just like this. Great, done. Now, we throw these things on a sheet tray. We're going to cover it with some oil. And it's going to go under that preheated broiler that we have going on. And we're going to get the skin blackened. We're going to get it charred. We're going to get it nice and smoky is the idea. I'm just going to quickly pat this dry one more time. Holy shit, I should have used gloves. My poor eczema hands are in pain. They are suffering. Guys, if you don't have eczema, you are really quite lucky. Okay, a little bit of olive oil. Oh no, Daramgar, what about the smoking point? It does not matter. It really does not matter. I think people actually care about smoking point a little bit more than they actually have to. The only thing is you don't want to like sear a steak, of course, right, with it, but it's actually just fine. So I'm gonna do something I don't normally do, which is I'm gonna brush it, just so that I don't like use too much oil. You don't want to slather these in oil. This is just to help conduct heat evenly, okay? This is just so that the broiler actually makes full contact with the tomato. What is the smoking point? Basically, smoking point is this kind of poorly defined term for the temperature at which different oils start burning. And basically, you have high heat smoking point oils like canola oil, and then you have lower heat ones like olive oil. And really what that says is at some point this is going to start burning sooner than canola oil. And that depends on a few things. It depends on the chains of fatty acids that are actually found inside of the oil itself. That also depends on if there's any sediment in the oil, right? And then it's not actually the smoke point of the oil, but the stuff inside of the oil burning. And extra virgin olive oil just happens to have a lot of sediment. If this was a refined olive oil, meaning it was fully filtered out, it is actually much more suitable at a higher temperature, and people in Italy fry in refined olive oil all the time. A little bit less popular to do that here, but then you lose some taste. Point is, in this case, it actually just does not matter. The part that it is most important to think about is, if this is a really expensive olive oil, are you wasting the taste of it? And is this thing going to catch on fire? Because that can happen if you really fucking overheat something. Oil can and will catch on fire if you let it. So in this case, it actually just does not matter in the slightest. We're gonna pop this into the broiler. That's done. We're gonna baby it. We're gonna check on it here and there. And then we'll just make sure that's coming along nicely. Half the bottle of olive oil, that's it. Okay, sweet, that's done with. Now, let's talk about everything else that we have going on. Before we can even think about the mac and cheese, the thing that I want to think about is going to be the vegetables for the tomato soup. So, this is the vegetables that we'll be using. Once again, a fairly classic mirepoix that we have going on here, except instead of onions, I'm just using scallions, because guess what? I had scallions and I wanted to use them up. You can interchange alliums all the time, okay? I love interchanging alliums and just using them for different things, because it's just really exciting that way. And so, by the way, I gotta talk some shit for a second. To me, the most important of a tomato soup is two things. Number one, there to be the presence of other aromatics that are not just tomato. Number two, the presence of a bread component to help thicken it. That is what distinguishes the texture for me from a tomato sauce. I will have a slice of bread that I'm going to soak, and we're gonna add it later in and blend it in. To me, that distinct texture that a slice of bread adds is key to the feel of a tomato soup, okay? It is essential. I will sometimes taste a tomato soup that does not have that, and I taste it and I'm like, this is just a thinner tomato sauce. No, to me, this is what distinguishes it. I know not every recipe has them, but in my mind, they should. And that is just simply because of the context, okay, that I ate tomato soup under and what I associate heavily with it. So once again, any bread component that you have, if you have a slice of bread, if you have some breadcrumbs, add it into your tomato soup and blend it up. It is not just a way to give it like filler, but it's also just a really nice way to give it some extra texture. So let's get my gloves on when I'm cutting things so that I don't, destroy my poor, dainty, feminine, eczema hands even more. Kitchen liquids and all the acidity that comes with it really knows how to do that to you. Okay, so let's start with the alliums. Let's start with the scallions. So here's what's gonna happen. We're going to cut off these root ends. We have no use for that, of course. Then, always in a waste bowl, by the way, right? And if you compost, that's also nice too. I would love to get into composting, but I have a lot of shit going on at the moment. But that would be a nice future project. That would be a really exciting part of like waste management that I would love to get into. And I'm gonna separate the whites and the greens, right? The whites I'm going to chop up and have cook in there. For the new viewers, Dara is 6'4". Yes, thank you. Very important clarification, guys. Don't forget it. Okay, so all of these scallion greens I'm going to use for something different. And by the way, once again, remember, the way that we chop these actually does not matter too much. The only thing I'm going to do is get a nice small dice. This is all going to be blended up. We just want it small enough that it cooks quickly. But this doesn't have to be particularly even, okay? So, scallions getting nicely chopped up, just like this. Boop. That's all done. Now let's get them into the bowl, like so. Okay, next, we can combine, by the way, the celery, the carrot, and the onion all into one container because they're all going to cook at the same time. The celery takes a little bit longer to cook than the onion, and so we'll do a slightly smaller dice than we did on the onion. So I'm gonna cut the butt end off because it's a little bit dried out. I already took most of the leaves off. And now what's gonna happen is, again, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just looking for a fairly thin slice on these, okay? And it's all gonna be blended down. It's all gonna become homogeneous. This is all just for cooking time purposes. This is not one of those things that you have to be super precise with. If you're doing something like a salad, that's when you want to be a little bit more precise with your knife cuts. If you're doing something like this is more than fine, I promise. Okay? It's all going to cook down. It's going to cook down with the stock. It's going to be nice. So, That's done. And then we'll do the other half of the celery. And again, just classic French mirepoix because I had some celery that I wanted to get rid of. That's where the inspiration of this came from, right? I saw that I had tomatoes and some aromatics in the fridge that I wanted to get rid of, and I love making tomato soup. Can't get enough of it, in fact. It's got a bunch of black pepper. It's going to be nice and simple on the flavor palette. Maybe we'll even do an audible chili in there just for a little bit of fun, but keeping it fairly classic and standard because there's nothing wrong with simple food sometimes. Okay. That's all done. Celery goes in. And then for the carrot, we're going to take our peeler, and then we're just going to go along the carrot because it's just nice to do. Theoretically, if you scrub your carrot, you don't really have to do this. Yeah, so this was, the idea of mac and cheese kind of came about from the concept of like a grilled cheese in a tomato soup, and then I was like, I don't want to do a fucking grilled cheese. And then I thought about making my own American cheese using the sodium citrate. Also, this end is kind of dried off. I'm not going to have that in there. And then I was like, wait a second, I just want to try doing a mac and cheese like this. I want to really try doing a sodium citrate mac and cheese. Because I've had sodium citrate sitting in my pantry for a while, right? And I never got a chance to play with it. Also, by the way, guys, little tip, super important. When you're cutting carrots, okay? If you ever notice that it cleaves and you've ended up shaving a piece like this, that's because your motion was too vertical down. Also, Melissa, it is lovely to see you. Your motion was way too vertical down. You have to slice. If you cleave it down, your knife is naturally want to go out. Your knife is want to go out like an axe, okay? If you want a straight slice through, you're going to have to both put pressure and slice at the same time, simultaneously. Otherwise, if you just do this, it's going to cleave out. You see how this just got thinner all the way down? So you have to slice it. You have to use the full length of your knife. And that is the #1 mistake that people make when they're cutting hard vegetables. Okay? Sweet. Next, classic carrot affair. We're going to cut this into matchsticks now. Going to set all of those aside. And these I would actually like to chop up fairly finely compared to the carrots and the scallions, because these do take the longest to cook, and these you want super soft. All right? You want all of these vegetables to basically disintegrate. They're going to blend in. They're going to get really soft. Yes, that was a huge fucking carrot that I got at the supermarket. That was massive. Okay. That goes in. And then I'm actually going to also, at the same time, quickly check on the tomatoes. Yeah, they're coming along nicely. That's looking good. I'm going to let them do their thing. Whenever anything is in a broiler, you do have to kind of baby it a little bit. Soft carrots, nodders. Yes, precisely. God. Victorian children would take like one look at Twitch speak and explode into a million pieces. How is your Sunday going, by the way? You've all heard about, okay, what I just did there is pretty bad form. Do as I say, not as I do. Do not scrape your knife to move things around. Please, dear God, that is how you dull your knives. It's just bad form. Okay? Sweet. Got all these guys bunched up, all these little matchsticks. And then we're going to bunch these up together. Nice, thin pieces. What I'm going to do is, I have a little bit of leftover chicken fat. I'm going to use the rest of the chicken fat in the tomato soup. I think that'll be really nice. Boop. Going in. And now the last of the carrots. And then we can probably just begin sauteing the vegetables. You're using this to calm the nerves? Hey, you're going to do great. Do you have somebody to help you look it over? I can't believe that my streams are considered not stressful, the amount of accidents that we have happen in the kitchen. God. I will do my best to seem calm and composed for your sake, because I realize now this has gone beyond me. I have a certain responsibility to uphold, don't I? Okay. So, bunch of carrots, bunch of onions, bunch of celery as well. And guess what? I got to use up a little bit of old leftover celery. I got to use up a little bit of old leftover carrot that I had sitting in the fridge. And this is a really nice way to get rid of things. Fucking puree it and turn it into a soup. Okay? Sweet. So, that's all been done. And now, we can probably now preheat the pan. Oh shit, okay. So, Now this is gonna get annoying because I think my auto exposure settings are fucked. Guys, I'm going to do something very cringe for 1 second. This is not gonna be pleasant. You guys ready for this? You really need to be ready, okay? Hi, it's done. I'm sorry about that, guys. I apologize. So, let me tell you what happened. OBS doesn't actually keep your saved configurations for your cameras in between streams. So, I had to adjust. I know what happened. I had my white balance still set on automatic and it was still continuously adjusting. And now it should all be fine, I hope. It should be fine. Dude, this is so fucked. I'm so tired of auto exposure settings. I'm gonna lose my mind. Ugh. Okay, I gotta troubleshoot this. I gotta fix this. That can't happen now, but this is very frustrating. Okay, here's what's gonna happen. Boom. 1. This goes on to the heat. Nice medium heat. Also, I gotta check on the tomatoes as well. They're looking pretty good. Actually, I can leave them a little bit longer. No, this is a Dell webcam. This is... Yes, I do know that it cut out. I was very, very distinctly aware of the fact. Yeah, for whatever reason today, maybe it's because I have these curtains open, my auto exposure is really fucked. And I don't like that, and that is very bothersome. There's not a lot that I can probably do about it at the moment, but I am just fairly annoyed about this, because this really should not be happening. And it doesn't always happen. It's a fairly inconsistent issue too. I will troubleshoot it. Don't worry about it. This is a little unprofessional of me, isn't it? But it's a Twitch stream. It's acceptable, but I don't want things to be acceptable. I would like them to be a lot better than just acceptable, okay? So, medium heat. We're gonna put in a bunch of my leftover chicken fat, or the last of it, excuse me. That's all going in now. And we'll do a splash of olive oil too. And this is just to cook the aromatics down. Okay, sweet. I'm a little upset about this, I can't lie. The way that this looks. What does the shirt say? Thank you for asking. Go work your cringe 9 to 5. I'll be gaming. That's what it says. Oh man, that is brutal. Wait a second. Is it because of that light? No, it's not. That is fine. Yeah, I know, unbelievable. Okay, so once again, I didn't properly strain out my chicken fat, so it is just splashing all over the place. We're gonna compensate the lack of it with a little bit more olive oil. We're gonna let that heat up, we're gonna let it just splash away any remaining liquid that it has, okay? Now it's doing fine. Everything is fine. And we don't need to really get a lot of color on it. All we're doing is we're just trying to soften the vegetables. So, all that goes in now. Okay. And we'll give that a little stir. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's not a, guys, don't sweat it. Do not sweat it. Thank you for the help. I'll figure this out later. Okay. So, nice medium heat. We don't need to preheat it too much. Again, we're not trying to brown it. We're just trying to get that a little sweated down. We're gonna hit this with a bunch of salt as well in the meantime. Sweet. And then I'm also gonna move this pot away. Woo, that handle got fucking hot. Whoa. Ow. It's from the oven. You sweating? Well, that's only for the carrots and onions, pal. Okay, I'm not sure if that's something that you should be doing. So, let's take a look at the tomatoes, my friends. Look at that, nicely charred. That has now attained a really good amount of color on it. I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna set that over here. Look at that. Those are all of the tomatoes that we've just gathered, that we've just cooked up. It's not gonna tip over, it'll be fine. I'm gonna grab this plate though, and put it away. And clear off the boiler. So, we got a bunch of color on the tomatoes. It is supposed to be burnt, that's right. It's supposed to get charred, it's supposed to get a little smoky. That's the entire idea of what we're doing here, isn't it? And now, let's give the vegetables a little mix as well while we're at it. Nice. It has all the chicken fat, that has a bunch of olive oil as well. And we got to use up some of the leftover chicken fat. It's just gonna have a really nice meaty extra flavor. The tomatoes are not gonna tip over. It's not gonna tip over. Also, we're making a really lovely tomato soup today. Making tomato soup and we're doing a sodium citrate mac and cheese. Taza, it's not gonna tip over. It's not gonna tip over. It's just not gonna happen. You know what? I'm gonna make it even better. You know why? You know how I'm gonna stop it from tipping over? I'm gonna put the tomatoes all the weight on that one side. Okay? Look at that. It's fine. All right? It's fine. So, a bunch of black pepper going in. We don't have to mix it around yet or anything. It'll be fine. Oh, my hand. Yes, my paws. Excuse me. I prefer paws. Do I peel the skin off? Nope. Because the skin has a lot of extra pectin that is going to help thicken the sauce, and it also has all the smoky flavor, so I will not be peeling the skin. It's all going to get blended up, okay? It's going to get really, really nice. So now, my friends, let's head back on over here. We're going to mince up some garlic the Daramgar way, which is with a garlic press. I know a lot of people are garlic press haters. I'm a garlic press lover. Woof indeed. Woof indeed. But yes, I like to keep the skin on because of all the smokiness that it adds into the dish. So, garlic cloves. I'm going to need all of these. I'm going to need some for the mac and cheese. I'm going to need some for not the mac and cheese. Okay. Toss this into the dishwasher. In the meantime, give the pot another mix before we leave it unattended. That is a pretty high heat. I could opt to do it a little bit lower. Nice. That's going in there, that's doing its thing. That's looking good. Now let's get a glove on. Let's get these garlic prepped. Okay. Okay, so the exposure seemed to have eventually fixed itself, but I was a little unhappy with that. I'm gonna try to figure that out by next stream. I'm sorry, guys. Auto exposure settings are pretty brutal. Okay. There we go. Give all these a nice little crush all the way through. And then we'll be able to just gently peel that skin off. And so I'm gonna save some of it for the mac and cheese because I think it'll be nice for us to have in it. And some of it is gonna go into the soup. Okay. Boom. This one didn't crush properly, did it? It's fine, we still got the skin off. Boom. This just makes my job a little easier to have a glove on. A little bit wasteful, but much better to avoid the stickiness, IMO. I should really start pre-peeling garlic again. I don't like buying pre-peeled garlic because of the fact that it comes in extra plastic. So I may as well just start doing that in batches again. I used to keep a container of it in my fridge. Pre-peeled, ready to go. Okay. That's all getting done. Sweet. But also here's the thing. Even if you do peel your garlic in advance and then you put it into the fridge, that is somewhat destructive prep because it does spoil faster. And I wonder if I shock it, if I first shock it in a little bit of water, if that will actually stop it from spoiling fast in the fridge. That is something that I've yet to try. And I wonder if that'll be like a worthwhile expenditure of my time. It is blasphemous to use pre-peeled because of the fact that I think it's just a little extra wasteful, right? It comes in its own natural casing and protectant. So, give that another mix through. Yeah, the vegetables are looking great. Smells lovely. All that's cooking down nicely. And so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to add the tomatoes in 2 stages. And the reason I'm doing that is because I would like to keep some of the freshness of the tomato. The cherry tomatoes tend to be sweeter. So we're going to cook it for a very long time with the plum tomatoes that we have. And then we're going to add the cherry tomatoes blended in at the end. And I think that will be just nice. That'll be nice for us to have. So let's get a little plate. Do not circumcise your veggies. Okay. Well, very true. Spoken like a real poet. Modern day philosophy. Okay, get that in there. Press that in. Nice. All that's going in. And so half of this is going to go in the mac and cheese, and half of it is going to go into the soup. Okay? And we're just going to shave all that off. Great. Make sure we press out all of it as much as we physically can. Get these pieces out as well. Okay, sweet. Now, the next thing that we're going to have to prep, I'm going to have some parsley going into the soup. I want that parsley blended in. So that'll be the next thing I chop up. But first, I think we should actually add the garlic inside of the vegetables. They're cooking down. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I actually get to show this off to you guys in real time. Aha. Let's head back to the stove. So take a look. In real time, in fact, we don't even need to see the boil for now. We can see, okay, that the vegetables have cooked down a bunch. They've gotten a little bit of color, and they've lost a lot of their volume. So here's what has to happen now. We're going to add in half of our garlic, and we're going to go get out of the freezer. I have some frozen chicken stock that I'm going to use towards the soup. In fact, we can do a little bit more than that. We can do that much. Okay, lovely. And then, out of the freezer, the chicken stock. I have 3 chicken stock cubes that are frozen in advance, okay? Right here. And it's all gonna go in the soup. And ever since, by the way, that I've started doing like pressure cooker chicken stocks, I've just had a constant surplus of chicken stock at home, especially because I buy like whole chickens, right? So it's just nice to have. Okay, cook the garlic down. In fact, we're also going to do one last addition. We're going to do 1 chile de árbol. That's what we'll do. Chile de árbol. We'll throw that bad boy in, and it's going to add a little bit of heat. I'm going to take the dried top off, and it's fine if the seeds are inside. I actually don't mind. I think the extra heat will be really, really welcome. Sweet. Oh, that smells lovely. With the garlic, with the onion, everything cooking down. Great. And all of these vegetables, they do have to stew for quite some time. I want them to be soft. I want them to be so soft that they just immediately puree. Okay? So, in goes 2 cubes of chicken stock that I have here. And that's just going to melt down. Maybe 3. Maybe I use up all 3. That pronunciation was not amazing. Chile de árbol. Something like that. Okay. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Chicken stock is inside. It's going to melt. It'll be fine. I'm going to save 1 last chicken cube just in case I need it for something else in the future. Okay? And then what I'll also do, we'll throw in our tomatoes. Specifically, the plum tomatoes are going to be going in at this stage. And the cherry tomatoes we're going to save and set aside. Okay. Plum tomatoes. Grab some tongs. Let's get these bad boys in, skin and all. Okay? These I'm going to have cooked down with everything else, and I'm not pureeing them now. I'm not squishing them down now because I would like for them to cook and then puree them. If we puree them now and we make this thing overly thick from the get-go, what's going to happen, God, my voice is cracking all over the place today. This is awful. What's going to happen is it's going to become so viscous that it's just going to burble all over the place and make a huge mess. Okay? Just like that. The sheet tray is no longer hot. I'll transfer the rest of these to a different vessel. So that's just going, that's doing its thing. Hello, Alien H. Hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, let's head back in. Welcome, welcome. Now, the rest of the cherry tomatoes are just gonna go in. It's gonna be nice. Oh shit, is that the wrong thing that I just put them in? Yes, I almost put them in the waste bowl. That was pretty funny. Okay. All these cherry tomatoes. I love the voice cracks. God, why? It's awful. Oh my God, is the exposure fucked again? Yeah, all right, guys, that auto exposure has got to go. I also just squished a cherry tomato, and it squished all over my keyboard. Thank you so much for the prime sub to Tech Doc. Really, really appreciate it. What did I bake the tomatoes with? Just olive oil. Okay, I'm gonna have to unplug the keyboard for a second. I just squished a tomato, and it released all of its juice onto my nice keyboard that I have here. It's not a nice keyboard, it's actually a shitty Bluetooth. I might have to buy a new keyboard after that. Well, that's annoying. Melissa. Melissa. God. Okay. Let's get the rest of the tomatoes inside. And these, once again, we'll be adding in towards the end. Okay? We'll be blending these up. We'll add it in towards the end. And the reason for that is because I would like to keep a lot of the fresh taste of it. I thought this was a mac and cheese stream. It's both, Taza. It's both. Get it together, man. I'm just getting this done now. I'm getting my prep done now. Taza's just fucking antagonizing me. This is the worst. Okay. Back to the stove we go. I'm not worried about the exposure. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It's okay. You know what? This doesn't even have to be mixed. The only thing is I'm trying to get any sediments, any like little pieces off the sides. Okay? And I would like for the parsley to cook down in there as well. The one step that we did actually forget though, I did not start soaking the bread. That does have to happen in advance. And this sheet tray is totally dirty. And that's just gonna go into the dishwasher. The foil did nothing for me. In fact, all I did was waste foil. I'm awful. It's over for me. Okay, that's fine. That's in there. Good. Now, we have to soak some bread. Oh, man, that exposure is brutal today, isn't it? There's one more thing that I can adjust. It's these curtains. I'll figure this out. I'll figure this one out, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Hi, hello, welcome back. Let's get that bread soaked, shall we? Let's head back on over here. Let's get a nice little thing of bread out. I have this Russian rye bread that I'll be using towards this today. And we want to just soak it in advance, just so that it is soft enough to blend in later on. Okay? Ugh. Oh God, this is the worst. I have to deal with this. Hello. Wait, is Catboy Collector here? Is Jay here? Hello, Nick. Hope you're having a lovely day. What kind of bread do you like to put in soup? Great question. Whatever you have around, whatever your house bread is. In this case, I had this rye bread, and so I'm using it. Jay, hello. Lovely to see you. I am struggling to get this thing opened. God, ooh, I'm gonna cut it. No, I can persevere, I did it. Good job, Daramgar. It's Russian rye, specifically. All right, look at this thing. Did I just sprinkle crumbs all over my board? Yes, I did. All right, nice slice worth is gonna go in. It doesn't have to be a perfect slice because all of it's gonna get blended up. All right, just like that. I can put the rest of it away. Oh my God, look at this thing. Sorry. I will not objectify my bread. I won't do it. Me like writing on the wall, like Bart Simpson. Okay. Let's wipe this off. It is an object, yeah. That it sure is. Okay. Sweet. Let's get that into a bowl. So glad to see a cooking stream. Oh my God, hello, hello, hello. It's lovely to see you. How you doing? I haven't seen you in forever, haven't I? Holy shit. When was the last time I saw you? Well, welcome. Glad you were able to make it today. So, bread. All that we're going to do, we're going to tear it up into little chunks. And we're going to pour whatever you have on it. You can do milk. You can do water. It's fine. It does not matter, in fact. This is just to get it soft, okay? Expedite the soaking process. In fact, you could probably throw it in now, but I'm being very mindful of the viscosity of my soup so that everything is able to boil and I'm able to reduce the stock nicely, right? Without it being so thick that it splashes all over the place. Okay, this I'm gonna go ahead and set aside now, nice and well behind me. I'm gonna give my soup another mix through for the moment. And the oven I'm going to preemptively preheat because I'm going to be doing a baked mac and cheese. Great. This is all just cooking along nicely. We're going to get it to a boil, drop it to a simmer, that kind of a thing, reduce it as much as we need to. Okay. Oven, bake to 400 degrees Fahrenheit or so. So here's what has to happen for the mac and cheese. We're going to build a sauce. Okay, we're going to build a sauce using the sodium citrate method. We're going to be using that emulsifying salt. It's going to be pretty exciting. We'll have to grate a bunch of cheese, is the only caveat at the moment. So, I have some Gruyere, and then I also have some of this cheddar cheese as well. I'm going to use all the cheddar. I'm going to use about half the Gruyere, is the plan at the moment. So, this I'm just going to cut just like this. It'll be fine. So true. Very beautiful, poetic even. This I'm going to schlap back into the fridge. I'll probably put it in a plastic bag later. I cannot be bothered to do so at the moment. So that much, and then we'll do all of this. And then maybe a little bit of extra cheddar cheese. We'll see. What is this? That's not craft dinner. I'm so sorry for disappointing. Won't ever happen again. It will happen again. Okay. Get this cheese. And then, I'm trying to think, do I want any more cheese? I have a little bit of extra cheddar as well that I can use. Maybe, perhaps. We'll do that too. If we have too much cheese, then we have too much cheese. Fuck it. Life goes on. We'll do that much, and then this much of this cheese as well. God, I love cheddar. Okay. Now, cheese grating. Wait, shit, first. I also need to boil some pasta water. So, let's head back to the stove really quick. Pasta is going to go in this pot. I'm going to crank that heat up. I'm going to hit it with a little salt. Not too much. I don't want the pasta to become like as seasoned as you normally would make it because we're adding a bunch of cheese and a bunch of other things. So it's all going to get quite salty quite quickly. So we're actually being quite careful to manage the amount of salt that we have. And I'm also going to slap a lid on while we're at it. I'm being very careful about the sodium management of this. Okay? pretty crucial. It's pretty important. All right, back to the cheese. Hello, Julie. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm gonna get a glove on, just for my own peace of mind. And then what I like to do this like it's a mandolin almost, right? I like to lie this down when I grate it because it makes my life that much easier. If you do it like this, you're always pulling it like back up and stuff. And like this, you just get to kind of go at it. So it's a little easier. Does make a little bit more of a mess, but as long as you clean as you go, you should be okay. Okay? All that cheese going in. Now I forgot, does gruyere have a rind? Or is that just cheese on it? I don't know if anybody can confirm that for me. Hello, Marlene. I never use gloves to grate cheese and then I regret it. Yeah, it is maybe very overstimulating, for me at least. It is. Okay, let's just hit the point where it's not like breaking up. So I can only do like a few more little scrapes. I'm going to do everything in my power to not eat too much of this. Okay. These chunks actually will be fun. So now, into the bowl. Into the bolio we golio. That's what I always say. I've never said that before in my life, actually. Okay, that is simmering a little too aggressively. Chill out, pal. Chill out. Next, this cheddar. This is nice cheddar. The will to not eat a cheese, it is indeed the most difficult part. Nothing that a little caffeine and stimulants can't fix. I've never had mac and cheese. No. So, Marleve, that's a good fucking question that you just asked me, isn't it? So, why did I choose the cheeses that I used? Well, you have to figure out what cheeses are actually good for melting. In the case of the sodium citrate mac and cheese that we're doing, the sodium citrate is actually going to give us a huge crutch and allow us to use a lot of different cheeses. These are all medium cheeses. These aren't soft cheeses, but they're not hard and dry cheeses, which are much more difficult to melt. These are somewhere in the middle. I am choosing these for flavor, as well as I'm also following, this is one of the only times that I'd be actually following a recipe on the stream, because I'm looking to follow the proportions, okay, of Serious Eats mac and cheese. So this is just gruyere and cheddar for that reason, but the cheeses that you select are based on water content, fat content, protein content, and how well they melt. And that's all fairly individual because all cheeses are a little bit different. But you can get quite creative with it if you're melting it into something else. Like in this case, we will be having the sodium citrate to give us a really nice crutch, and both of these already melt well into milk. Right? This is how traditionally people would make it. They would melt it into milk, or they would do a bechamel. And what is exciting about the sodium citrate is that it allows us to melt this with the texture of American cheese without the taste of it. And so we get to get quite fancy with it, using some nice cheddar and some really nice gruyere. But in general, the rule of thumb is you can use more of medium cheeses. You can use a lot of soft cheeses. You can't do that much of hard cheeses. Both of these are medium cheeses. Yeah, this is one of those American dishes, by the way, that gets fucked up. My favorite cheese, Jarlsberg. Love Jarlsberg to death. It's like kind of like a Swiss cheese. It's really nice. A lot of people mess up mac and cheese. Let me tell you. Here's what happens. Number one, they have stringy mac and cheese. No, it's supposed to be a cheese sauce. Number two, it's too milky, or it's too much of a bechamel. Or three, it's just, straight Kraft, which can be fine too if you're using that as a medium for something else. Mac and cheese, when done well, can be luxurious. It can be beautiful. And not a lot of people do it well. Typically, by the way, when it comes to American food, any concepts or ideas that are like American dishes, chances are the South does it better and black families do it better, mac and cheese is specifically being one of them. This is like one of those things that's like, you always have to be a little skeptical of like an American white person making you mac and cheese. It's always like a very high standard there. So that's why I have to do my best. A lot of pressure on me. Ooh, okay. This cheese is now a little bit difficult to grate. But yeah, this is quite easy to mess up, and I'm excited to try like the sodium citrate stuff. Yeah, they are pretty brutal, specifically Midwestern white people in the United States. Pretty brutal. Let me tell you, some of those dishes, a lot of tuna casseroles, man. Okay. This is a lot of cheese. A lot of this is also volume because of the air. Clearly, you've never had Minecraft dinner. So true. Okay, the bottom of this bowl actually got quite dirty. I'm gonna give it like a plate coaster to put it on. The oven is already preheated, which is nice. When will you try Italian dishes? When I feel like it. I'm sorry to give such an asshole response, but that really is my answer whenever I feel like it. I have not had much of an inclination to do Italian things on the stream. Tuna can burn in hell? Yeah, so real. Okay. I just don't normally cook Italian at home. Okay, and now it's gruyere time. I'm only doing half of this. Okay. Woof. Oh, man. Grating cheese is all fun and games for like the first 5 minutes, and then you get into like the latter of it, and then you just want to be done with the process. I'm annoyed with doing this already. I do probably need a new cheese grater as well because this one's quite old, and it's nice to have sharp ones, right? Having nice sharp tools. Those hand crank ones are only for hard cheeses typically. Brown sugar and vinegar would be the sugar to bring out the natural flavors of the cheese. Hot sauce, yes. I think I'm gonna do a little bit of hot sauce in there. Brown sugar? I don't know. I don't know about that, I'm sorry. Use a belt sander? Yeah, that'll be great. We'll for sure get a lot of really nice, big shredded cheese like that. And also understand, by the way, contextually, most people, they grew up with like really like shitty canned tuna baked into creamy dishes. God. You know, I've never understood something like a tuna melt. Never understood it. Not at all. I do not get it. That one is quite ridiculous to me. You can put the cheese in one of those blender things. Yes, you can. Yes, there are blender attachments, food processing attachments. No, and there's nothing wrong with like really nice canned tuna that's done in like oil and stuff, but it's definitely like one of those things that gets better with like the more that you pay for it too. There's shitty canned tuna, and there's also really nice canned tuna in oil. Okay. Holy shit, this is a lot of cheese. I'm curious to see if the sodium citrate can handle all that, because this is all getting only dissolved in 1.5 cups of water, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Okay, so that's all finally been done. So, by the way, in that case, just buy a bottle of molasses. All that brown sugar is white sugar with molasses added to it, if I'm not mistaken. You can buy a bottle of molasses, and then you no longer have to buy brown sugar specifically. You can literally just do that. You can look up a conversion ratio for it. Tomato soup and tomato sauce? Oh, such a good question. We're adding bread, and we have other aromatics happening. When I'm doing the tomato sauce, it's minimalistic. It's all about the tomatoes and maybe some alliums. Look at all this cheese. It's a generous amount, I think, if you were to ask a little guy like me. Is the water boiling here for the pasta? Not yet. Okay. Good question, though. I like that you asked that. Potatoes on molasses? I've never had potatoes and molasses. Is that a dish? What are we talking about? Are we talking about like candied yams? Yes. In fact, I don't understand why brown sugar is sold as brown sugar and people just don't own like a thing of molasses, because you can use molasses and other things too. Taza, fuck you. How about that, huh? Have you thought about that? God. I don't need all of it. It'll be fine. You see these little pieces? It'll be fine. Oh, I'm allowed to have a little snack. A little mouse, okay? I like the cheese. That's my mouse impression. Okay, this is boiling pretty aggressively. We can tone this down a bit. Okay, now, here's the dealio. My water is boiling for the pasta. Great. I'm gonna just actually leave it there for a little bit longer, just as it is. I'm gonna also start building the cheese sauce simultaneously. Oof, this is all a mess, isn't it? Honestly, I could tear this up. It'll melt. It'll actually just melt. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Taza, you are... Taza, I will defeat you. You know that, buddy? You know that, pal? Okay. So, this gets put away. I no longer need any of that. I'm going to also wipe down my table for a second. And now, I got to look up the proportions again of how much sodium citrate to how much water am I going to be using. That's the thing I don't know about exactly. Ooh, did I just spread cheese all over the table? I sure did. I'm the best. I love cleaning. Love cleaning. Can't get enough of it, really. I think it's 1.5 cups of water to like 1.5 teaspoons of sodium citrate. It's a 1-to-1 in that sense, volumetrically. We'll see. Okay, let's head to the stove. Tomatoes are cooking. Have a good stream, Dada. Are you leaving? Oh no. I'll not like you to leave. I'll miss you so much. All right, I'm gonna switch some stuff around. This bad boy, whoo, that's a hot handle. Too hot to handle even. Okay, this bad boy, I'm gonna grab, I'm gonna put him right here. Because this just has to basically simmer along now, right? It's actually not doing anything that exciting for the moment. Get that back on a heat. This bad boy we're gonna put on the heat, and I believe we need 1.5 cups of water. It is a lot of cheese, yes. That it is. So, I'm being a little specific with my volumes right now because I would like for this sauce to come out good. So that's not a lot of water, right? You big tired? Yes, I know. You say this every time. I remember, Tel Aviv. Don't, I know. You're good. Okay, I have a silicone whisk somewhere, don't I? I do have a silicone whisk. And then, to this, I gotta check how much sodium citrate we're adding. What am I doing? 2 teaspoons. Okay. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. We gotta put back the music. I remember who you are. I'm not that awful. Only a little bit. Where's my sodium citrate? All right, let's get this bad boy, and we'll toss this in. Ah! I dropped my teaspoon. It's fine. Everything is fine. I don't drop things often. So this, my friends, is what's going to keep everything together. We're going to get that in there. We're going to bring that up to a simmer, and then we'll add in our cheese. And hopefully it goes well and according to plan. Well, look at that. It all worked out. The Daramgar condition has been fulfilled. This is still boiling too aggressively. We're going to tone that down. The pasta water is also going at the moment. So I'll go in with 1/2 pound or so of pasta. Yes, it is. It is an emulsifying salt. That it is. Also, you are allowed to leave, by the way. Don't let me guilt trip you into staying. You're more than welcome to go. Please, in fact. Okay. So, I think I need about 1/2 pound. And again, this is the only time that I'm really checking my proportions, because I would like to be pretty sure in this case. Gonna open up my bag. It's not in hot dog water. An emulsifier is something that brings two substances that normally can't melt together or to combine together to hold them together, right? In this case, if we think oil and water, a starch would be able to combine both oil and water by binding to both of those individually. And in this case, the sodium citrate keeps the cheese together. It also makes it kind of water soluble, which is interesting. So, half a pound or so of the pasta is going to go in now. Is that about half the bag? No, a little bit more, and should be fine. Great. Lovely, in fact. And I'll mix it around. This is still boiling way too aggressively. That's holding on to a lot of heat. Okay, sweet. No problem, Tasa. Happy to help. No, this is just going to be separate. It's just going to be separate. We're just going to have a baked mac and cheese that's totally separate to all of this. So, sodium citrate. We're mixing all of that sodium citrate in. Right? That we had in there. It's all dissolved nicely now. And now what's going to happen, I believe, one handful at a time, we'll be throwing it in. And here's a cool part. Because of the fact that we did add the sodium citrate, it should theoretically just be able to dissolve. So I'm going to first go in with the garlic so it has like a little bit of time to boil and cook. This does not need to be boiling though. This does need to be at a gentle simmer. Right? So that's a little bit too hot for my taste at the moment. Okay. And we'll throw in some black pepper and hot sauce as well. Gentle simmer. This is way too aggressive. Hey, chill. You're going to chill out, buddy. Chill out. Good boy. Okay. This goes in. We're going to do one handful at a time or so. Just like that. And the sodium citrate should be able to keep all of this together. Is the cool part. Theoretically. You see how that dissolved? Well, kind of dissolving. I think. One handful at a time. We will be developing our nice little cheese sauce here. I'm also going to give the pasta a little mix so it's not sticking. Okay. Whisking it all together, making sure everything is dissolving the way that it needs to. Nice little handful goes in. Gonna just set that down. Just keep a nice close eye on that. And now it is slowly upping in viscosity. And this is really cool. Cheese isn't supposed to just melt in water. That's pretty sick. The sodium citrate is keeping all of it together, essentially. I think that's pretty exciting. Next little handful going on in. Could go a little bigger on the heat. We don't want the cheese sauce to split by any means, right? We're just looking to dissolve all of it. Yeah, that's actually pretty exciting. Cheese isn't really supposed to do this. It is slightly splitting at the bottom though. And I don't understand why fully. Is that just the garlic pieces? Oh, that might actually just be the garlic pieces. That's what that looks like. I don't think the cheese is split at all. Yeah, because that's just all homogeneous. That's all just pretty nice. Okay. It would be the garlic, right? That's my thought as well at the moment. I might have even had too much water. In the beginning, I was like, whoa, that's way too much. Well, too little water, excuse me. And now here I am on the other side of things. No, that looks like cheese at the bottom. Why is it slightly splitting? It's not supposed to do that. Maybe with more aggressive whisking, it'll be fine. That's where my mind is at the moment. This is going to require a bit of babying, it looks like. What is happening? This isn't exactly the way that I thought this would go. Is it actually just splitting? Am I going to need more sodium citrate? I hope I didn't ruin just a big batch of cheese. Maybe I did the cheese in too big of increments? I don't know. That's my question right now. We'll just have to see what's up. Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on the pasta as well at the moment. Whoa, are you splitting, motherfucker? Is that what you're doing? Is it boiling too aggressively? Is that heat too high? I'm not actually totally sure what's happening right now. Because by this point, with the amount of cheese that we've added, this should have already attained a better viscosity than it presently has. And it's not separating, but it's also not necessarily too thick either. And thus, I am moderately confused. We'll see. Yeah, I'm seeing strands develop at the bottom, is what I'm seeing. And I don't know what to really do about them. My heat might be too high. No, it's not. I do not think the addition of more cheese is going to fix this, but we'll just have to see if it does. No, this is not flour. This is just sodium citrate. That's the only thickening agent that we're using here. And it is getting some glossiness, and it's not necessarily separated either. But it might just not be melted, is what's happening. Frustrating. It is getting thicker. That it is. That I can confidently say that it is. And it's not necessarily stringy either. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it'll just be fine, is my thought at the moment. Okay, my pasta might be done. I will have to go check on that and just leave that unattended for like a second. Gonna give that a little taste. Yeah, that's some. Ah, that's hot. Where's my towel? A little stressed out. I would like the mac and cheese to turn out well. I have a colander waiting for me with my name on it. Ah, that's totally fine. It's done. I got that handled. Yeah, it might even be splitting now. Whoa. What is happening? Also, thank you so much for the sub. Hello, Nothing. Hello, hello, hello. It might thicken. No, that's not the point. The point is it's not about the temperature of it. The point is it's still moderately splitting at the bottom. And I think my theory at the moment is that I might have had too much water, perhaps. I might have just not given it enough time correctly. All right, what's happening here? What do we have? That is some strands at the bottom. That's what we have. It's not gooey. It's supposed to be pretty gooey at this stage. and it's not. It's not even simmering. So it might also just be too cold. We'll see. I'm whisking as aggressively as I can to make sure that every strand is nicely incorporated throughout. Yeah, it's not a temperature thing. It's a emulsification thing that's happening at the moment. I'm wondering if this was just too wet. And I think a pinch, an extra pinch of sodium citrate might actually fix it, is my suspicion. But it is glossing up. If I scrape the bottom enough, and I'm getting it in there, it's actually, wait, oh, maybe we're fine. I think I might have just not been scraping the bottom enough. Wait a second. Hold on, that is getting a little bit of viscosity now. We might be in business. Well, I suppose we'll see. But now, like, I'm pulling it and I can see streaks form, right? So, maybe everything is just gonna be okay. Maybe. Maybe I just have to stick with the process and whisk as aggressively as I can. Yeah, wait a second, that's just combining now. Are we okay? Are we chilling? Are we big chilling? We might be. This is a very big learning process for me. I wanted to do an experiment, right? I wanted to see how this would come out. I can't read chat at the moment, so you guys entertain yourselves. But okay, I can see it actually start to combine in real time now. I wonder if that will go down if I stop stirring it. Are those strands at the bottom? It might still be. I don't know. I'm gonna taste it though. I'm gonna get a spoon of that and I'm gonna taste it. Just to see the actual proper eating viscosity. And it's still gonna bake. So it is thickened. And that is exceptionally fucking cheesy. But why did I just get a piece of strand? Is my question. This is interesting. It's not separated, but it's not melted either. And my suspicion is that this temperature is actually too low, which is pretty atypical. Normally people like overboil it and then it separates it. But I think mine's actually maybe just not melted enough. So maybe we'll just be fine. Okay, we'll do the next handful of cheese. Going in. We'll do about that much for now. I'll just whisk that in as aggressively as I physically can. Yeah, okay. Guys, I think I just got impatient, is what really happened here. I think I got impatient and I didn't manage my heat correctly. I think the sodium citrate is doing its job now and everything is just gonna be fine. Because this is picking up some proper viscosity now, especially given enough whisking. I might have been under whisking. I should troubleshoot. I should just probably ask some people around that know more about this than me. Yeah, hold on. That has a really good consistency. We might just be in business. Everybody, I think we're fine. I think we're actually just fine. Let's do the next small handful of cheese going in while we're constantly whisking, making sure there's no clumps. Anyway, we'll even give the pot a little rotation. I'm gonna go back quickly and also stir my soup. Make sure none of this is scorching, slightly lower heat as well. Get back to this. Okay, we're fine. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. There is no splitting in mac and cheese say. That didn't really track, did it? That didn't sound like bossing say. Okay. Back to the aggressive whisking yet again. How aggressive is that heat? Is that still hot? It's still not even boiling. Really simmering even. There we go. Okay. That's hot enough. I think that's plenty hot. I am actively seeing it pick up viscosity in real time. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. Everything is fine. Yeah, look at that. That's getting glossy. Oh, dude, we're fine. We're going to be so fine. Everything is okay. I'm very happy about this. Next handful of cheese going in. I might have cooked the pasta a little too long in advance because that's just sitting there now, but if it clumps up and it overcooks, then it clumps up and overcooks. There's nothing we can really do about that. It's fine. Mac and cheese is not supposed to be this al dente, gastronomic experience. It's supposed to be mac and cheese. You can pay attention to the texture of it and keep some bite, as long as it's just not mush. But to me, mac and cheese is supposed to be soft and squishy and pleasant. Okay, back to the aggressive whisking we go, because this seems to need it again. I think I might have also added the cheese too quickly and not whisked it in properly when I needed to. Yeah, look at that. That is becoming a proper cheese sauce. I'm so happy. I was really fucking stressed about this. You guys have no idea. I really was just that stressed. Okay. I would not have liked to wasted all that cheese, right? So I'm just more glad that it's all eventually coming together and it's all gonna be okay. That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy that we're not wasting anything. I'm happy that this is just gonna come out correctly. We have about 2 more clumps of cheese left to add in. How are we doing, Nick? We're doing good? We're hanging out? Hope we are. This just really needed babying, is what this needed at the end of the day. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's a really nice cheese sauce. Whoa. Exciting. I think I also wasn't whisking that side of it enough. So this just needs a lot more whisking. Whew. Okay, that's getting there. That's almost the texture that we needed, right? Last of the cheese going in now. And that's done. Well, it should be at least in a little bit. We're going to keep whisking it, we're going to keep cooking it, and then we're going to combine everything together. It's going to be great. All right. I was really worried for a moment. It really had me for a second. But now it's all fine. Oh, shit. I just splashed a bunch of hot cheese sauce at myself. That was unpleasant. I would not like to repeat that. Yeah, that's good. At the bottom, it is now a little bit too separated, but I think with a slightly lower heat and enough whisking, it will all incorporate just fine. Let me give it another taste of that texture. See how that's coming along. I actually just splashed on my microphone this time. A little unfortunate. Hello, hi. I will not be adding green food coloring to my mac and cheese. Thank you for the suggestion, though. I will heavily consider that next time. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. Okay. This is it. We're in business. Everything is fine. Look at that. That is a cheese sauce. And that tastes Like pure cheese. You saw the ratio that we had of water to cheese? That thing was crazy. Okay. Give that another rotation. Make sure we're also whisking in this side. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, that looks great. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy with this. We'll probably shut off the heat in a moment's time. Just want to get the last of the whisking done. Make sure we don't have any stringy parts at the bottom, but no, that all just looks like, guys, this all just looks like a homogeneous cheese sauce. I'm gonna leave that for a second. I'm just gonna check on my pasta, make sure it's not sticking. Bland boiled pasta. One of life's greatest little treats. Okay. That looks great. That actually just looks good. Yes. Look at that texture. Look at that. That's perfect. Oh, I'm so happy. It's still not done yet, right? I still got to mix it a little bit more through. I really think I was just impatient and I added too much cheese too quickly. The sodium citrate amount was fine. The water amount was fine. All that was fine. I was just impatient at the end of the day. That's what it really comes down to. Oh, that's great. Guys, that is really good. That is so good. That is really nice, huh? Oh, I'm so happy about that texture. Guys, that's a real proper cheese sauce now. I think we can kill the heat. Whoa. That's great. Okay, sweet. Pretty nice. That's the sauce. That's the cheese sauce that we've just built up. It's got that gooiness. It's homogeneous. It looks amazing. I'm gonna take it off the heat now. Okay? Now, back onto this pot is gonna go all of the pasta. We're gonna mix a little bit of oil into it. It's kind of congealed in the time that it was draining, but it's fine. It's fine. Next, little splash of oil going in, just to help separate it a touch. Okay. And now we're gonna get a spatula out. And then all of the cheese is just gonna go right on this thing. Dude, that is a homogeneous cheese sauce if I've ever seen one. As close to homogeneous as we can reasonably get. Let's get this out of the way. And now I'm gonna mix the rest of that in. And we're gonna throw in some hot sauce and a little bit of black pepper as well to finish this off. Again, I'm keeping the flavors really classic. I'm keeping it really simple flavor-wise. Dude, that's a pasta. And then we're gonna bake it. This is gonna also be a baked mac and cheese. Don't forget that aspect, okay? So all of that getting nicely mixed through. Looks good. I'm very happy. Oof, God. You have no idea how worried I was. Everything turned out fine. That is the best feeling alive. That makes me so happy. I keep reiterating it because I just feel that relief right now. And yeah, that's the texture. That looks like Velveeta, dude. Except, instead of Velveeta cheese, it has really nice cheddar and really nice Gruyere. That has a lot of flavor. All right, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of hot sauce in there as well. A little bit of Frank's. Great. Just for a little bit of extra acidity, I think it'll be really pleasant. All right, look at that thing. That. Oh man, that's almost too thick. Dude, that thing is gushing. That's a really good sauce. That's great. That's really nice. Okay. And now, we're gonna go ahead and fill these bad boys up. Let's get over here. Let me put some of this away. Now, here's what's gonna happen. Oh shit, wait a second. Did I use the wrong sheet tray? I did, it's fine. I was gonna use a sheet tray to put these things in the oven, but I used the wrong one. I think. Did I? Or did I save it? No, I saved it. Okay. So, this bad boy. Oh no, does this not fit? It fits, it fits. We'll make it fit. And then, what's gonna happen? We're gonna go in with the mac and cheese. That's really fucking cheesy, dude. About, you know what? Theoretically, I could actually just pack one of these really full. That might just be the move. I don't think I need two of these. Well, also a lot of cultures have their own variations of mac and cheese, right? If you have like, for example, like there's like an Egyptian one, right? That's just like pasta with a bechamel, basically. Okay, again, guys, I know this is like kind of plain. This isn't necessarily the most like loaded mac and cheese that there is. This is literally just done to test the technique. Okay, and we're gonna also do some panko breadcrumbs with some oil. That is almost too viscous. I might have actually had too much cheese, which is really funny to say because of how thin it was. And I think all that happened was I wasn't patient. Okay. Next up, breadcrumbs. We're gonna go into a bowl. We have a bunch of panko breadcrumbs. Boop. And we're gonna do some oil. Oh no, this is not the healthiest at all. Guys, this is half a pound of pasta and like a pound of cheese. That is a 2-to-1 cheese ratio. Do you understand how much that is? Do you have any clue what that implies? It's a shit ton. That's what it is. In fact, just for fun, I'm also gonna do some Cajun seasoning in there as well. Just because I think it'll be fun. Right, some Cajun seasoning into the breadcrumbs. And then a big splash of olive oil is gonna go in, just so that this gets really crispy in the oven. And this should take maybe 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. So breadcrumbs, we have the seasoning, we have some oil in there as well. Smells nice. Okay, this worked out. I had a little too much cheese, I think, relative to the amount of water that I had. So I know what to do for the next time. I understand this all a little bit better now. And now, you know what? Was that even enough breadcrumbs I did? I might have needed more. It's not that much breadcrumb, really, if you think about it. Let me think. I'm actually going to just use my hands to sprinkle that on top. Spread it around. You don't really want to break the layers that you've built, right? Maybe it'll just be fine. Maybe it's fine. Nobody likes too much breadcrumb topping or anything. But this was definitely not enough breadcrumb. Okay. It's actually fine. It's fine. We'll get it as crispy as it can. It'll just be a nice little textural contrast. But that will go for no more than 30 minutes or so. We're gonna try to get like the cheese around it nice and crispy and stuff. We'll see what we can do with it. Okay, into the oven she goes. Yeah, I'm not looking to broil it though. It's just gonna go in the oven, uncovered, 30 minutes. Also, the terracotta that I put it in, like those clay things, I don't think it can withstand broiling. Kitchen timer, 10, 20, 30. Guys, the most stressful part was done. Holy shit, I was really scared for a second. Everything just ended up working out. which I'm very, very happy about. Now, let's quickly transfer this bad boy back on over. So this can continue to cook over here. Okay, sweet. Did I make a mess? Yes, I did. And that's totally okay. That's what kitchens are for. I'm just gonna put some things away in the meantime. And we'll periodically check on it, make sure that it's not burning or anything. And I like putting any like dishes on a sheet tray in the oven, so it's easier for us to take out later. So this was a very important learning experience. This is an important learning experience because we needed to preserve the ratios. We need to preserve the ratios that have already been tested and try to see what we can play with. That's pretty important, and also being patient and making sure that I'm whisking aggressively enough. That's all really, really important stuff that I really should have been embodying, but I wasn't. And so, anytime you cook, it should always be a learning experience of what you can do better next time. Always, without a doubt, every single time. Okay? I'm cleaning up my station, and then we will go back and talk about, you know what, the breadcrumbs, as they are, really tasty. Even like unbaked. That was really yummy. And then we gotta talk about the final steps for everything else. So, I just like making sure that there's not a massive mess in the kitchen, because that's just gonna make cleanup hellish later on. I'm gonna keep the strainer around, actually, kind of need that. It's tomato soup, that's what we're doing. Okay, so, my friends, here's what's happening. The tomatoes have all cooked down. All that's been going for quite a while now, right? All the vegetables have softened. We're gonna soon be ready to blend up all of it. First, we have, of course, our soaked bread. That's now gonna be added as well. We've expedited the soaking of it. All that rye bread going in. Great. I'm very relieved. That's what I'm feeling at the moment. Cooking is tough because it doesn't allow you to make mistakes sometimes without like the guilt of wasting food, right? Or wasting the money that you spent on it, especially if it's like really nice ingredients. You have this constant looming thing over your head of like, hey, you don't want to fuck this up, right? And so, that kind of explains why I was feeling the way that I did for a little. But now I'm fine. Now everything is fine. I'm just getting rid of stuff, getting it out of harm's way, and then we'll be able to move on to the next thing. Okay. Hello, my friends. How are we doing? We doing good? We hanging out? Good. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear it, in fact. We might need to end up thinning this mixture out, because this has reduced a lot, but it's also pretty good. It'll be nice. Also put this plate away, just so we don't have to worry about her later. Okay, sweet. My dishwasher is full. Ever since I've been doing the cooking streams, I have been making a ridiculous amount of dishes. I don't love doing that. Doggy without effort being cute again. Thanks. Oh shit, I am covered in cheese sauce, aren't I? I was whisking and tasting it so aggressively that I made a mild mess. I was going to show off my t-shirt. I was going to use that as an excuse. I was going to say something along the lines of, go work your cringe 9 to 5. I'll be gaming. I love this thing. I need more embarrassing t-shirts to wear outside. So this is maybe one of the only things I've owned that have actually made me shy going outside before. I put this on and I felt a little bit of shame. That is not an emotion that I experience often at all. I would like to emphasize. It just does not happen to me. And yet this t-shirt did an amazing job of it, I've got to say. Okay, hi, welcome back. So here's the deal. This pot is a little dry. I want everything to continue to stew, but it's just going to need a splash of water just to make sure it doesn't over-reduce while we're busy doing everything else that we need to. Let's get back to the cutting board, shall we? Let's get over here. Gonna get a new wet paper towel to throw down. And we gotta chop up some parsley now. And the scallions too. Drop the heat on that a little bit. We're just stewing it along. Okay. Pop. Pop. So, first up, let's do the less annoying one. Let's do the scallions. Scallions I'm gonna have as a garnish because I think it'll be really nice for us to have. And these I also just like having around in my fridge. So, bunch them up. And then we're gonna go nice, thin slices all the way through. Oh, I love blue cheese. Love it. Can't get enough of it. Going all the way through, nice big slices, yeah? They are naturally lactose free because of the fermentation process. The bacteria eats up all of it. Okay. Big bunch of scallions. Actually, this might be some of the nicest scallion cuts I've gotten in a while. Look at that. That's great. A little snack, in fact. Got that all sliced up? And then we'll go in with the parsley. And some of the parsley will be garnish, and some of it is just going to go directly in. I'm glad that I can provide. Okay. Where's my parsley? Ah, I already took it out. I'm silly. So, we're gonna need about, I don't know, man, something like this much. I'll use the rest of that for something else in the future. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that kind of content either. That's not really my thing. Okay. This I'll put away later. I'm not gonna worry about that at the moment. And now, we're going to get rid of the big stems. Oh, Daramgar, what about the taste? I don't like the texture of parsley stems. I do not like it. I don't like biting into a parsley stem. Not a fan. Thus, we get rid of it. Is what we're doing. Okay. Very simple. It is a pretty hot take. Cilantro stems are a little bit more tender. I don't mind those. Parsley stems, a little fibrous, aren't they? I should also check on the mac and cheese in a second. Make sure it's not like exploding or combusting. It has both exploded and combusted. It's over. Mac and cheese time is done, guys. There's nothing we can do about it anymore. Okay, sweet. So, let's go ahead and process all of this parsley. So we got rid of the big stems. That's been done. We'll bunch this up. And nice thin slices all the way through, okay? In fact, I could have bunched that up a little better. You take it in your hand, you smush it around like this. That was a genuine worry for a second because I am baking it in a clay dish, okay? And by the way, if I didn't specify before, I'm just following the Serious Eats recipe for the baked mac and cheese that they have, and that's at 400 degrees currently. 400 degrees for 30 minutes or so. The recipe says 45 minutes, but I'm telling you right now that is way too long. And it's going to dry out in that time. Yes, yes. Oh, celiac, man, I've known enough people with celiac disease. They have it fucking tough. They have it really brutal. So many different things. Soy sauce and, you know, things that you wouldn't expect to, right? Have gluten added. I could not imagine. Crohn's is also a bitch because it makes it very difficult for you to eat anything like fibers, right? Like beans. Tragedy, really. So, slicing all that parsley nice and gently. We're gonna do one more. And a nice bundle of it is just gonna go in now. So, let's grab about that much parsley. I want that parsley to cook down, okay? And I wanna blend it in. Oh, but Daramgar, you're cooking your soft herbs. Ah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Parsley can cook. It'll be okay, I promise. It'll actually just work out. So the soup is getting really, really thick, right? Because of the addition of the soaked bread, it is able to pick up a lot more liquid. And thus, we will have to compensate with a little bit of extra liquid in a moment as well. And then we're gonna blend up the cherry tomatoes and add that in. So, splash of water more. Going in now. Oop, perfect. And then, my friends, we'll go ahead and grab a blender. Where's my blender? It's down here. And I will once again finagle it to make sure that you guys can actually see the blending process of the cherry tomatoes. And I want to do that beforehand because I really want to make sure I get all those skins broken down as much as possible. The parsley I will be transferring on over here. Okay, I'm going to quickly plug this in, wrap this around the other side, and it'll be good. Okay, that's the blender. And this is the actual proper container for this thing. So we can use it as it's intended. Okay? Boop. Grab this thing. Get it in there. Is that in? Is that actually seated? Didn't feel like it was. Okay. We'll start with the low setting for now. I'm actually just going to position this. How am I going to position this? What, are we talking about tamale? Yeah, so gluten-free soy sauce, is tamale. And it does taste a little different. It's fine. And it will work in most applications. I'm not sure. I'm actually not totally sure about the process of how tamale is made. So I wouldn't be able to answer your question. Okay. Continue to blend. Okay, lovely. And now we can go ahead and add that to our soup. But first, here's what's gonna happen. I would like to also blend the soup itself, not just these tomatoes. These I just really wanted to make sure the skins were as finely ground as possible. Okay? And then as for the rest of the soup, what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to blend it in that. I just want to go ahead and grab a towel, get that ready. I'll get these herbs out of here. Okay. Something like this. And the cutting board is just for an extra layer of insulation. Yes, you are late. The mac and cheese is already baking. It has like 15 minutes or less left. I am just checking on it. Oh, it looks fucking good. That looks good. That looks great. Yes, you are late, but it's fine. I'm not upset. Only a little bit. I'm not upset, I promise. You're okay. It's fine. Things happen. Life happens. So, this is all of our soup. If this splashes, I am dead because it's hot. So, pray for me, please. Oh, fuck. That is shallow. Well, that is definitely going to splash, is the reality of it. Maybe we transfer this to a different vessel, is my thinking at the moment. We're just going to go through it one by one. Ooh, we got a splashy boy, don't we? Here, I'm going to position that better for you guys. And then I'm going to tip that up so that has the proper volume. I don't like the fact that it keeps moving the camera though. Here. There we go. That should be fine. And you are allowed to blend this, once again, as fine as you would like. Oh, the rye bread smells really nice. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Okay. And once again, guys, the thing that distinguishes this tomato soup from being a tomato sauce to me is the inclusion of other aromatics, as well as the presence of bread. We have an entire slice of bread that was soaked and then added. To me, it is essential and indispensable for the texture of a proper tomato soup. Whoa, chill out. Got a little excited, didn't you? Good boy. Get back in there. We'll mix this around yet again. Maybe not with a metal tool on this nice pan, but that's okay. It's fine. It'll be okay. We're just trying to get the thick chunks back and integrated. Look at that. Gorgeous, isn't it? And the bread helps to keep it together. Okay? It really, really does. The texture, the smell, the taste, everything. It is essential to me. Never skip on it. If a recipe doesn't have it, I don't trust that recipe. And by the way, this is still mostly unsalted. The reason I've been holding off on the salt, once again, as usual, is because I don't know how much salt was in the chicken stock. I didn't make that chicken stock. And we salted the aromatics. So, we'll salt this at the end. And we're just trying to get this really smooth. I like it silky smooth, okay? Look at that. Okay, how well are we doing on the blending? The blending is almost done. We can also strain this if you want. I don't think we'll strain it. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this, seeds and all. Right? It gets really beautifully orange when you blend in the aromatics especially. Okay, we could strain it. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep it pretty rustic. I'm just gonna blend this as much as physically possible in that case. I do need to get really quickly though. Please don't tip over. That is going to tip over. Okay, I'm really quickly going to get a spoon to just mix this around properly. Where's my spoon? There she is. Ah! I dropped it. That's fine. Okay, that's looking really good actually. Maybe even give it a little taste. That's what we'll do. Oh, that's nice. The bread really comes through. That one slice of bread adds a lot of character, let me tell you. And the salting is almost perfect too. The chicken stock and when we were sauteing the aromatics as well. We will blend this a little bit more. First though, I am going to add this extra tomato sauce we made, right, from all those cherry tomatoes, and we're keeping this basically raw, right? All of that, that's essentially just straight blended cherry tomatoes that we roasted and smoked, or charred in the oven, excuse me, to get a smoky taste out of it. And then I'm going to take some heavy cream because we're still going to put this back on the stove. I'm going to just try to rinse this thing out. Actually, no, heavy cream's just going to stick to the sides. I'm going to scrape it off like a normal guy. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to scrape this out. Yes, well, this is Eastern European bread that I had. But yes, you're talking about American supermarket bread. But we have decent bakeries here too. It's just not the way that most people eat bread in the United States. That is lovely. That is really lovely. And guys, by the way, those tomatoes are basically raw that we've just added, right? They were charred, they were kept half raw on the inside, and they're half roasted. It does nothing to the bread. Yes, this idea of you have to feed your yeast is ridiculous. What it does do, it does change the texture though. I did lie for a second. It does change the texture. Maybe that's just the inclusion of fat, to my understanding. Okay. Gently tap that off. Delicious. I'm quickly checking on my mac. Oh, guys, the mac and cheese, impeccable. You know what? Let's head to the stove for a second. I'm going to show you guys this mac and cheese. I think I'm just going to pull it out now. I think it's good. I hope it didn't burn, in fact. I don't think it did. Yeah, no, that's good. Holy shit. Okay, that looks amazing. Guys? Guys? This is the mac. Look at it. That's the mac. That's it, right there. Look at that thing. That is great. That is lovely. That cheese, yeah, we definitely overfilled it, but this container is quite nice. So, that thing is oozing. That thing is bubbling out. We're not going to go into it quite yet. We're just going to let this cool down, of course, and then we'll just serve this and eat this normally. But that is perfect to me. That is just perfect. Yeah, right? Nice like crispy cheese that we have going on. Okay, let's head back on over to our blending process that we have yet to finish. Hi. We still got to finish this up. We got to finish up the soup. I'll kill the oven. Boom, done. Yeah, the top is crispy. The cheese is saucy. That is delicious. Dude. Okay. That is incredible. And now, the final blending process begins anew. Blend everything together one last time. We'll keep it fairly chunky, relative to me. Normally I would strain this out, but honestly, the added cleanup of that, not really worth it at the moment. Oh yeah, that's the stuff, guys. It's nice and spicy from like the chili that we added. We kept the seeds in, so the heat is all distributed. Look at that thing, huh? That is a tomato soup if I've ever seen one. Let me tell you, I've seen one. Lovely. Okay. Great. It has now been blended. And now, my friends, what's going to happen? We are going to head back on over to the stove. Head to the stove. The mac and cheese is cooling down. It looks great. It looks actually wonderful. It was bubbly. It was oozing out the sides. In fact, the recipe said initially 45 minutes, and I was really skeptical of that. In 25, it got the color that I wanted. Yes, Well, this tomato soup has technique in it. Don't forget, we have homemade chicken stock. We have chicken fat that was added to it, okay? We have the charred tomatoes that we added at multiple stages, so we get a really, really different taste. It is a very different taste. This is not an ordinary, one-pan citrate tomato soup. It's not everything just gets fucking boiled together, right? No, everything was given a lot of love. We gave everything a lot of attention. Why is it catching? What's happening? Why is my dishwasher not opening? Oh, is it because of the tongs? It is because of the tongs. Okay, so it's not an ordinary tomato soup, my friends. By no means. By any means. That's the expression. Ah, nice. And that, we're going to heat back up, and we'll add a nice little splash of cream, because it'll be pleasant. Mac and cheese is cooling down nicely at the moment. Boop. Just to give that a little bit of extra richness at the end. I think it's pleasant. And a nice big hit of salt as well. Two of those. Good. Mix that cream through. Mix all that salt through as well. And now we're just going to wait for the cream to cook a little bit. And then the soup is done. Let me give that a nice little taste in a moment. I'll get a spoon for that. But that just looks great. I'm very happy with this. Dip a slightly toasted bread in it. I don't want more bread with this because I'll be having mac and cheese with it all, right? So it'll just be like a lot if I make more bread to go with this. That is amazing. Salt is perfect. It's really sweet. If anything, it really tastes like a vodka sauce, right? It tastes like a vodka sauce because of the cherry tomatoes and like that amount of sweetness it gives. And the cream that we just added, as well as the heat. It really reminds me of a vodka sauce, but just not a sauce, right? It has the texture of all the blended bread and it has the taste of that bread, because that's not just like a shitty slice of white bread, although you can do that too. That was a really nice piece of rye bread that was in there that got soaked in. That, my friends, is good stuff. Okay, that is going, that is doing its thing. We're just putting that back on there for a little bit of time. Not too long or anything. We're not going to go crazy with it. Boop. The tomatoes cooked at different stages, different textures. That is genuinely a remarkable soup. That is a genuinely, genuinely lovely soup. Okay. I'm just getting the final stages of cleaning done as well, while I can. And then, my friends, we'll just be able to eat. The mac and cheese has cooled down, at least enough for us to be able to dig into it. We'll get a nice bowl of tomato soup as well. We'll just be in business, won't we? Everything's going to work out. Am I going to have to just shut the dishwasher after? I will. I've already made a lot of dishes. Lovely. Very happy about this. It is quite American. Well, again, Midwestern American, right? Just stuck in forever Midwestern and suburban hell. Okay. That, my friends, is a soup that I think is ready to eat. That is ready. That is perfect. That is creamy. That is luxurious. That is beautifully blended. And we've heated the cream through. It's done its job. Oh, God. No, no, no. I had said in a couple streams ago I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, this sucks. Oh, this sucks. I don't want to do it. I'll take it off later. Yeah. Fine. That's it. Never again. That's just not happening again. My friends, it is time for us to play it. So, Let's head to the overhead camera, my friends. That's what we'll do. Unfollowed and unsubscribed. Thanks, Taza. I really appreciate that. Really do. It means a lot from you. Okay. Here's what's gonna happen. First up, nice little bowl. Shit. Well, I have no more bowls. Well, it's fine. First up. Don't sweat it. There was nothing. I don't know if you forgot anything. Nothing happened at all. My friends, it's mac and cheese time. This thing has cooked. This thing has baked. It has done everything that it needs to. Please all look at my mac and cheese. Please look at that, okay? Then we will grab a spoon and we'll take stuff out of it. Yeah, nice little crispy crust. This is a lot of mac and cheese. That was a lot of cheese. Dude. Yo, that looks really good. What? I'm very proud of that. Okay. I can already tell you right now that that texture was what I was going for. And this wasn't Velveeta. This was just sodium citrate. And it smells like a really nice aged cheddar. It smells like a really nice Gruyere. That's the beauty of it. I don't want more because this thing is really, really dense. That is a lot of cheese. I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't miss anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Guys. Look at that. That is actually just wonderful. I do. I will have my mom eating some later. But I'm very happy with how that mac and cheese came out. Very, very happy. And then we will get a nice ladle of tomato soup. I had a pretty big lunch, and that's why I'm not eating a lot. Tomato soup, mac and cheese, but all done homemade. All done really fresh. Little parsley on top. Little scallion on top as well. My friends, we have completed the meal. Everything is now done. Now, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. It's time for us to eat. That's what it's time for. I'm going to grab a spoon. I will eat my mac and cheese with a spoon, so I do not have to dirty 2 spoons. First up, let's try the soup properly this time, right? We got some of the herbs. It's been seasoned. We added the cream. That soup is lovely. That is really lovely. The taste of the rye bread really comes out. I love using the rye bread for this. And then, let's get some mac and cheese. It is cheesy. It is saucy. That looks great. That is pretty fantastic. That is crazy. We're not done yet. We're still going to eat it, though. Wait, hold on. Maybe not pour the soup over it. Now, this is crazy. Have this all together. Yeah, that's flames. That's awesome. The texture of this is fantastic. A bechamel, a milk sauce cannot get you that texture. That is a texture of melted American cheese, of melted Velveeta, but done with a really nice cheddar and done with a really nice Gruyere as well. That's what that is. I actually really like that together. Wonderful. That is actually just wonderful. And the cherry tomatoes, cherry tomatoes in the soup, kept the way that they were, really adds a lot of depth. Because you're getting the really cooked stewed plum tomatoes, and then you're also getting the barely cooked charred cherry tomatoes at the end. You're getting a lot of size of the tomato. It's able to just say a lot because of that. That depth of flavor in that soup is amazing. The carrot, the celery, the onion all cooked down. The parsley cooked down as well. Chicken stock, chicken fat. Lovely. Okay, so what did I learn? Mac and cheese. I gotta be really patient when I'm using sodium citrate. I could have made it a little looser. Or just done less cheese. This is really good though. Yeah, that's crazy. That texture is incredible. Really special. That's just really special. Get this together again. And that effectively is a grilled cheese with tomato soup, isn't it? Tomato soup, perfect. I have no notes for that at all. The mac and cheese, the only thing I was worried about was the viscosity. And then being able to actually do something interesting flavor-wise. But I had most of the ideas down, and I would not be disappointed if this was the mac and cheese I got anyway. Nice crispy top to it as well. I am not upset. Okay, guys, this is the final leg of the stream. Any comments, questions, concerns, anything that you want to say at all? This is the time to do it. Because once I'm done eating, we're going to go get somebody else. Ah, wow. Actually, Kelly, that is great. Lemon tomato soup. Why, thank you, Dan. Also, thank you for being here again. Saw you last time a couple days ago. I'm glad you liked it. Dude, that tomato soup is awesome. This tomato soup I'm really proud of. It's like one that I do often. With like the cherry tomatoes and everything. But this is the first time that I did like the duality of both, like the plum and the cherry tomatoes. I did that once for the Japanese curry that we did. Never looked back at all. Well, give it a try if you'd really like. Wow. Tomato soup was really nice. Creamy, rich, velvety. It did everything that I needed to. It's very comforting. It's very, it has a little bit of heat from the chili that we added as well. But okay, everybody. That being said, we will now be closing off the stream. First, we will find somebody for us to raid. Thank you for being here. Of course, as always, let's see who is currently live. Okay, I see who Goes is streaming. We'll go to Goes. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all of you. I'll see you guys next time. Wednesday, 6 p.m. is going to be the next stream coming up this week. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I guess we'll just find out. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys Wednesday once again. Until then, I just hope you have a lovely rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.